for what are you 0 for 9 on layups, 0 for 14 from the three. Like you can't do that. It just don't look like they ready yet. The chemistry ain't there yet, and those guys ain't ready to take that step yet.
Right. And I think that's the big issue for the team. And I think with the injury to Clay, it kind of messed them up because they weren't banking on that injury that happened to Clay. And it happened what, a day before the draft? And
Yep.
it stuck with you picking. Like I've already said, getting Wiseman was a great move for them long term, but it was based off of having Clay.
Yeah.
Now, now that you don't have Clay, it's like, all right, more pressure is on guys like Wiggins and Oubre to actually do more. Because remember, if you're going into it, they're kind of like the fifth and fourth option compared to being the 2 and 3 option. So it puts a lot more pressure on Wiggins, and we've seen that in Minnesota. Him as that spot is not what we really need. We really can't do that long term with the with Wiggins as a number 2. He's more suited as a 3 or a 4. It's gonna be a struggle, I think, all year for them. Mike Dub, what's going on, yo? Showing
So
up,
I
Mike.
don't think only reason I want to see like the thing that would worry me is like tonight they play Chicago. Now if they struggling with those type of teams, then I will worry. But losing to Brooklyn and Milwaukee all on the road ain't bad things. Like the world ain't coming down right now. To me, it ain't.
Right, right. Mike, what's your
And
thoughts
then
on
and then you
the
got to
trade?
add they not only missing Clay, they don't have Draymond yet. Like so,
Right,
it's a lot of stuff that got to happen before I get panicked first.
right. What's your thoughts right now on the Dubs, Mike? Is it too early to talk about it, or is something that may be happening long term?
No, it's too early to talk. They're missing two of their best players, and the other guys got to learn how to play together. It's not like they had a real training camp and all that stuff like that, because they didn't. So everybody's learning everybody. But I do think the MVP need to step up a little bit more.
Well, see, hold on now. I gotta go into that because it's hard to say the MVP has to step up more when really he's getting doubled and then somebody's shooting extra body right at him every single time. It's gonna be difficult for a guy to say, "Little step up more than what you already doing." Coming back with basically a brand new team, they're still hit with injuries, as me and Ray was just saying. Marquise Chris is now out for the year with a broken leg. That's second game of the year.
Yeah, but
He's
I really
out.
feel like he was the way teams were double teaming him them other years is no different than now.
No, see the thing is when teams was doubling him, he had guys that can hit shots. Oubre and Wiggins ain't hitting shots right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that part, but you know, he has to force the issue.
Yeah, that's what's like he haven't been shooting well so far this 2 games, but I think he waiting too long to start getting going.
Yeah,
Like by the time he get going, they already down 20.
yeah, I feel like he definitely got to force the issue.
I think the
It,
pros of it.
it's not like there's a player out there that can actually guard him.
But that's the other part where Draymond comes in because Steph he got to score, but then he got to be the playmaker,
Yeah,
which I mean it ain't that easy to do. Where Draymond could be the playmaker, then Steph can go back to running around screens and stuff like that. Where right now you never seen Steph up top in the first 2 games as much as he is right now.
yeah. I mean, I get that part. I get that part. But like Greg, like you said earlier, Ray, they played the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
The
they
first
played the
2 games
Eastern
of the
Conference.
season.
I'm not mad at those losses. Like nobody gonna remember that they lost by the third. When they was the super team, they lost the first game of the season with KD and then by 40 to Houston. Like,
Mm, I agree. That's why I'm not tripping off of it yet. I'm just more concerned with the injury bug that's happening in
oh yeah,
Golden
the
State.
Andrews going to hit because I thought Chris was filling in because I think Looney soft, and I think Chris was a good backup for Wiseman.
I think it was a perfect backup because he could still hit a mid-range jumper too.
Yeah,
So
because
it'll open
Looney
up a
is
whole
super
lot
soft
more.
now.
Yeah, they have an issue. I
Didn't
think
he
they're
get
gonna have
paid?
to make a move. Say it again.
He
He
got paid,
got
right?
paid, but not a lot though.
Hey, he don't have to play as hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another angle. But also so far in this young season, Give me your thoughts on some of these rookies, man. And I know it's only 2 games. What do you see right now
A
from the
lot
young?
of them, a lot of them ready, and then I think a lot of teams are babying a lot of them. Like I think a lot of teams know they're not that good, so they like trying to just work them in. No, like you said, they ain't had no training camp, only had a few games of preseason. So it's like a Melo and Cole Anthony in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
They probably be mid season by the time they actually get real minutes. Like
And the crazy part, what you saying, Ray? Right now, where we at, this is supposed to fucking be mid-season.
yeah, they're supposed to be like mid season. Then like you might not see them get like Melo got 15 minutes, 2 games. Like you might not see him hit 30s until we in March somewhere.
See, I look at a team like Charlotte when you get a LaMelo. You're looking at him, and it's like you got 3 other guards already
Yeah,
down there.
yeah,
So
that's
it's
another thing I thought about too. Like it's like a lot of teams just drafted best player available, but not what they needed.
right. So when you go and you make a draft like that, you already know that the guy that you paid, Terry Rozier, he got to get money. He
Yep.
got to get minutes. Then you got to look at Frank could have won most improved player last year. He got to get minutes. And then it's like, well, LaMelo's the future, but we don't want to step on the toes of the guys that's already here because
Yep.
it could rock the locker room. So it's a little bit of both down there. And
I think a
Charlotte.
lot, and one that's not being talked about is Edwards.
Mhm.
Edwards been balling, even with the little bit of minutes he getting.
Yeah,
But he's in the Wiggins spot that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
When you're not the number one or number two and you're just allowed to just play, they don't tell them, yo, go out there and basically lead us all the way. They saying, yo, just give us what you can give us as the third or fourth option. That takes a lot of pressure off of you on a team like that, and they can just run and gun, young guys just running and gunning. D'Angelo Russell, because actually D'Angelo Russell didn't even start the first game because he got in trouble. So
yeah,
he came off the bench, and it was like, well, Edwards got shots up while he was there. It allowed him to just play his natural game, which is I'm gonna go get you 20 points. So
what y'all think about Denver so far?
I already said it last year. Mike Malone got to go. And this is actually a great segue into what we was talking about coaches being overrated or being underappreciated. Mike Malone, in my opinion, is overrated. And the reason why he's an overrated type of coach is because he can't handle all the talent that he has. It's no way in the world you got a team of 12 talented guys, but you like you had mentioned in a post, you running PJ Dozier. Why is PJ Dozier on the court and not Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, Murray, Bol, and Jokic? You're like that's kind of things I'm looking at. It makes no sense to me, and I think he's a solid coach, but he can't handle the young talent that he has up there. He doesn't know how to manage.
Yeah, see, I just think they just one of those teams that it's one of those things. A lot of people want to be so talented. Like you want a bunch of talented people, but you also want talented people that play roles. And I just think they got too many people that looks at themselves as bigger players than the roles they expected of. Like I know Will don't want to be a six man. Will probably feels he should be a starter in this league. Like it's hard to get that out of people's mindset. Like in Brooklyn, every player that comes off that bench on Brooklyn knows their role. Like Allen just in there, let me get a rebound and some blocks, and I'm good. I'm out. Some Chico DeBargio, I hit a hit open three here and there. I'm gonna sit on the bench. Levert, no, I'm about to go score 20, and that's it. I think Denver just got guys like I need the ball. I need the ball right now.
yeah, and you know what?
You paid a bunch of them.
Young players don't understand the being a role player.
Yeah,
Every young player is coming off of. I've been the man for the last 7 years.
yeah,
Every one of them in Denver, like every one of them young players in Denver who has less than 3 years in the league, they are coming off the mindset of I've been the most talented player wherever I've been at.
and that's the other thing like you said with that and that's what's hurting them. Like you got those type of you got Michael Porter on the verge of I could have been the number one pick type talent, and then you mixing him in with Jamal Murray and Djokovic coming into their own. So it's like it's hard to mesh all that in one.
I totally agree. I think that with Denver, you have too many guys that can say, "Yeah, I am the true number one," and there's no leader.
There's no leader.
There's no leader in Denver. Like talent, yes, you got talent in Jamal Murray, you got talent in Nikola Jokic, you got talent in Michael Porter Jr., but there's no de facto leader. And because you have no leader, that team is going to need a strong-minded coach. That Mike Malone is not. That's
And
why
I
he had
think
to go.
and I think that's the reason why Grant left because I think Grant felt like, yo, I can be better than just what I am here. Like I can go be a second option on the team.
That's the concerning thing for me with Denver because we've seen it the last 2 years. They're talented enough to make it to the Western Conference Finals and potentially even to the championship, just off of talent alone. But do you have that coach that's going to say, you know what? Let me minimize this bench
Yeah,
and
that's
go
what I
with.
say. Like you gotta he still played 12 deep and it's game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Like sometimes you gotta cut that rotation to 7, 8.
And that's the problem. Now, if you go 7 or 8 like last year, I think he kind of got a little bit of a reprieve because Gary Harris was hurt, Will Barton was hurt, so it kind of saved him a little bit. But now this year, if they're all healthy, what you gonna? And I know we talked about it.
They should have
Somebody
been
got to get
trading.
traded.
Both of them should have been traded in the offseason.
Yeah, I think Will's
I love
like
Will. I
Will's
love
definitely
Will.
should be traded.
I love Will, and I love Gary Harrison. But both of them should have been traded in the offseason. Now I don't know if anybody's gonna take their contracts. That might have been a hard thing to do too. At the same time, but both of them should be traded, and then you should have moved both of them young boys up. I mean, the basketball is a game of the future, right?
Mhm.
So
So let me ask you this question, Mike. So you saying move the young boys up? So would you play Bowl at the 4?
I played Bobo at the 3.
So what about Michael Porter Jr.?
You played it 2.
Okay. So you
That's
went
a
super
that's
big.
that's a Clippers lineup.
I mean,
That's how
Super
the
big.
Clippers running it right now.
at the end of the day, what you doing with those trades, and I'd
So
have
who you
got
would have
Grant.
had not to cut you off? So you would have kept Millsap and kept him at the 4 because
Yeah,
he's kind of the de facto
I
leader.
think he the one that's messing it up.
Yeah, I think
but you
he's
know
really
what?
the
You need
main
somebody
clause.
with the mind. You need somebody with that mindset, right? You need somebody with that mindset of I know how to win. Now, y'all
Yeah.
listen to what I'm telling y'all. We'll win some games. I wouldn't have got
See,
rid of him.
that's the thing. Like, I think he should be the one that should have defected towards the bench role instead of still being starter, getting starter minutes. Like, I think he the main
Man, he
one
could
that's
be a
taken
starter
away
that plays
from,
15 minutes.
huh?
He could be a starter that plays 15 minutes.
Yeah, you can, but it's that mindset. Not everybody had that mindset like a Lou Will did or Ginobili did.
No matter no matter how much no matter how much minutes he play, he still gonna get 20. we know.
And see that, but a lot of people that don't have that mindset, like last night game, Melo. Melo looked real unhappy that he wasn't in there in them clutch moments. He looked real unhappy.
But see, that's the difference in a guy like Melo. That's an argument that we've had all this time for his career. He has yet to sacrifice something to say, yo, I'm willing to be the 6 man or a guy that just plays my role. And
Yeah,
especially right now on a team like that, I already said it was a bad fit now compared to what it would have been 5 years ago to go to Portland. Now they already know, oh, it's CJ and Dame. CJ and Dame. That's it. That's all. And if you don't like it, you got to go.
In Portland, I really feel like I understand the young dude that's starting 3. He played a little bit defense, but I watched him get torched last night. I give a fuck what
yeah.
type of
That's what I
defense he
say.
play.
Him
He
and
my best.
Rocco, him and Covington. That's why I think Melo look at it like
Like these,
even though
like
they
yo,
even though
if
they
I can't,
pulled the
if Melo
win
can't
out,
play defense, he can still give you 20.
yeah, as I say, even though he pulled the
Them dudes
win out,
can't do
I
20.
think he felt he was a big part of what they was doing last year. Where now I think they looking at it where we rather stay athletic and shit like that. Like,
But you know where that come from, Ray? That come from not having a bunch of players last season. So he
yeah,
like doing that, and their mindset, they like, yo, we're gonna get every what we can get, the full out roster. This shit that we went through last year don't happen this season. And then that went to the Melo, would you mind sacrifice not being a starter? We're gonna put Covington in to play the 3 and guard the best offensive play. So and this is my thing, by All-Star break, if Covington can't hit the shot, and that's another thing, the motherfucker ain't shooting well either.
Yeah.
You know, when he was AWL, he shot well. So, and I know it's a different style of play, Ben, in Portland. But if he can't hit a fucking shot and still getting 30 put on his head, he should take his ass to the bench.
That's gonna be one. That's gonna be something to watch. Cause to me, Melo was the ultimate team guy last year. He was the first one off the bench. He was clapping fives, even when he was on the bench last night. You ain't see none of that. It was like he hit a shot too. He hit a shot and they took him out. It was like Melo was nowhere to be found.
And Melo played every fucking position y'all asked him to play. Y'all want me to play power forward? No problem. Y'all want me to play small forward? No problem. Oh, you want me to slide to the 2? No problem. Them other guys can't do that either.
That's the dilemma.
Huh?
That's the dilemma, and I hate to point it out like this, but it's the same thing with James Harden when they tried to put this stigma on him of saying, "Oh, he's a bad locker room guy." Last year, what did he do? He accepted his role. Same thing with Dwight Howard. They accepted their roles of saying, "You know what? We'll take this role as a 6-man. We'll take this role as a backup center on a non-guaranteed contract to just show you that I can play basketball still at a high level in the league." Now, and I'm gonna keep it on Portland real quick. Portland go out and make an acquisition to get Jones, Covington, and you got Rodney Hood coming back. So you know they want to play small. There's no way in the world they're gonna keep running Melo at the 4 because they want to run with them young guards. You already see it. They want to go. They want to go Trent Jr. that they like. They want to go with CJ Dame. They even like Simons, but they don't play him a lot right now. But they like all of these guards. Covington, a 3-and-D guy who ain't hitting 3, but they like him. So it's little things like that they're doing. And it's sad because I know that Melo got put in the trick backs, but I wanted Melo to go somewhere where he would be a better fit on a championship caliber team. And it ain't the Blazers, man. It ain't the Blazers to me. I think it's a bad fit now because they made too many offseason moves that actually circle the end coming from Melo. That's just in Portland. It's right. He might get traded. He might get traded before the trade deadline. Especially if the body language continues like that. So we'll see. What's another team that I actually am impressed with right now? The Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta, man. Atlanta looking real good.
I call them they look like a nice county team.
they Delaney. They're
Delaney.
Delaney.
Yeah, like Delaney or something.
Yeah, they got a real good.
Everyone players gonna leave after they go to the state. Everyone that plays gonna leave.
Because look at all their guys. Their guys are like, they don't have the tattoo guys and all that type of stuff. They got the all well-groomed, even the black guys, like the well-groomed black guys that came from Duke and Virginia. Collins was at Georgia Tech.
They do got a well-rounded team in Atlanta, though.
Yeah, they do, and that's not. And I was watching them last night. I'm like, they got Rondo. He haven't even played yet.
Yeah, they got a really well-rounded team, and that comes from the draft.
Yeah, that was all draft too.
They're not spending a lot of money right now.
They did this year. They got Boja and Danny and Gallo.
Yeah, Danny Gallinaro and
but they spend money on them, but like their main core all draft picks.
It is all draft picks.
Let's stay on
for Capella.
Let's stay on this draft pick status that we're talking, because a lot of people, and I'm going back to the Dubs on this one, a lot of people hate on what happened in Golden State. I don't know why. If you watch them
get it.
from the time that they drafted Shep, you get your star cornerstone guy on a team that had a bunch of older veterans that were getting ready to either be out of the league or get ready to move on to different teams. You did another lottery pick draft with Clay, and you were able to get Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green in the same draft. That's building a team through the draft. It's the same thing going on in Atlanta. but they don't give credit to Chef because the first thing they say is, "Oh well, they bought a championship because a free agent came to them after they went to 2 finals."
That's the thing.
I
It's
don't
to the point. Steph Curry is the most hated. I think it's based off of, yes, I'm gonna say it, Brown fans. Brown fans just feel like they would have won 1,000 championships if it wasn't for Steph Curry and then Steth Curry and KD. Like, I just don't get it. Like, he is now the only player that never he has to have help, like, to be successful. Like, who if he never led, who has led? Like, everybody has had all stars that won this game, and then you got people like, whoa, LeBron took that Cavs. That was 30 years ago. Steph is in his 12th year now. He's not 22 no more. Like, he's 32. So now you like he don't have that. And then they do this after their run. They had a 5-year run. You do this after his run about, oh, he can't lead the team no more. It's the craziest thing I ever heard.
What's your thoughts, Mike?
I'm not a big Steph Curry fan, but it's the business. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I don't, so how some people, I don't like him, Dada. I'm not a fan of him, but the business, and I just think, to be honest, I think he's trying to get his timing back too. I think he's trying to get. It's not like he ain't play basketball in almost 2 years for real, like on the NBA level. I mean, playing in the gym, shooting around, and all that shit. That shit way different. Everything speeds up. That shit way different from being out there 80 games playing and stuff like that. So I think he's trying to get his time back too. But Steph, I mean, the craziest thing, not knocking nobody. I think when the season at the end, I think Steph Curry and fucking KD gonna be arguing about who the MVP. Kind
And
of,
then like,
I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I think at the end of the season, the two ex teammates is gonna be like, who gonna win the MVP?
and then you got guys like I'm gonna call him out, Joe Pace, who's on this Clay Thompson, like is like the best player in the world campaign. In 2014, Warriors won 51 games. Wasn't nobody talking about Clay Thompson. Nobody. They come out, they lose to the Clippers in what, game 7, lose to the Clippers. The next year, then nobody talk about the Warriors. They go to the championship. Like, how is that not leading? Like, you're the best player on your team going to the championship. He couldn't help the fact that Kyrie got hurt in the championship game. Like, that's not his problem. But he led his team to the championship. That's leading. They won a
Exactly.
championship. Everybody said y'all championship phony. He came back and won 73 games. Like,
he was the MVP that year too, though, right?
yeah,
both years, and that's the piggyback on it. I actually didn't start it in 14. I was going back from when they went to the playoffs in 13.
13 against San Antonio.
You go to the playoffs in 13 and you beat San Antonio in 6 games in the first round.
Yep.
You beat Denver in the first round.
Yeah, you beat Denver, then gave a classic matchup against San Antonio.
And then you have a classic matchup against them, and it was like, yo, you seen the future was coming, because that's when everybody said Mark.
Is that the year San Antonio?
Yeah,
that was the year San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was a good series. I remember. I was watching a clip at the end of the series. Tim Duncan came to him and like grabbed him by his head, and he was like, "Y'all next up." He said that shit to him like, "Y'all next up."
Yeah.
There's a clip out there when Tim Duncan come talk to him, tell him like, "Y'all next up."
That's what I say. I just think people just always assume when people like a player, they putting them in that conversation as all-time greats. Like, Steph Curry is going to be where he's at, wherever he lay at. If he 20, 25, somewhere around that, that's fine. Nobody's calling Steph Curry a GOAT. Like people got mad the other day when Greek Mr. Free Throws and said, "Oh, it would have been 1,000 comments if this was Braun." Nobody's calling Greek a GOAT. Braun is criticized like that because he's considered to be a GOAT
the best all time.
And his fans defend him even when they're wrong. That's the crazy
like,
thing. I'm pretty sure
if Michael Jordan sits up there and misses a free throw, people gonna get on Michael Jordan for missing a free throw. So when LeBron misses a free throw, the world's gonna come at you.
But like, the thing of it is, I'm pretty sure Greek fans probably said some shit like,
"There's no Greek fans." That's the thing. Ain't none but Daryl.
You know what I'm saying? Like he probably like, yo, he gotta work on that shit. Like, he gotta go like this. Like I remember he in the preseason he shot the air ball and they said, oh shit, this might be a long season for him. And I'm just sitting there like, it's gonna be a long season. Nigga, don't shoot three. He trying something new in the pickup game. I mean, preseason pickup games. You doing shit that you never do in the game.
That's why I say it's just coming down to that point where when we like a player, every player don't have to be in that conversation. Like we can just like a player for who we like. Like again, to go back to Pace, we had the argument the other day. He was all like, "What did he do without Clay and them?" Your favorite player, Magic Johnson. What did Magic Johnson do without Kareem?
Didn't
Like,
win one shit without Kareem.
like, come on, like, like
Those are but those are things that are created, in my opinion, by the media.
yeah,
Because
like we got to stop that.
that's why we try to change that here. Because when we look at like Zion, for an example, we got Zion looking at, they saying, oh, he's the next up, he's the next one. Same exact thing with Luka. You say, oh, he's the next one. So now Luka has a pedestal that he has to get up to because we've already praised him as.
We already praised him to be that.
And it's crazy to me because let's look at the roster that they have in Dallas. They're not a top 4 team in the West to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if
I think if KP don't play a bunch of games, I don't think they make the playoffs.
And he might not. That's the whole thing. So it's like, all right, if we get that team into the playoffs without KP playing, let's say KP don't play half of the season. So that'll be what? 30, 36
32,
games.
yeah, 32,
So
33
if he doesn't play 36 games and Luka can get that team into the playoffs, then yeah, you got to give Luka MVP nod. Because if he can get him in the West in that spot, you got to give him credit. But if Luka don't make the playoffs this year, it's not a knock on Luka as a player. He don't have the talent.
So that's what I say. And then if you would say Luka can't lead a team, like they say Steph, and then they'll say, oh, well, KP was hurt, this and that. But with Steph, it's no, he got to lead the team. They don't care about who hurt on the team. He got to lead the team.
So can I say one thing, yo? James Harden last night, for a motherfucker that's out of shape,
man,
25 pounds heavier than he usually be. Yo, like him with the fucking beat.
Fuck Chris Brinkley. Little baby need to open up a training camp. Niggas need to go start hooping with training with little baby because that was. I hope James Harden woke up this morning. And said, "Yo, this dude Christian Wood is the best player I've ever played with. That is the best compliment he ever had.
Yo. You know what's scary though about that shit though? And this is why I think John Wall will fit well with him. Wall don't want to score.
He don't want to score. He want to pass the ball. Yeah.
So that could open up a whole lot more because he can be another playmaker that's willing to just pass the ball to everyone on the team. And if Cousins is right, this is just my opinion. The high-low action with Woods and Cousins, and then you can say, you know what? Let's go with Wall and Cousins real quick. Sit them out. Now we're gonna go put the ball on Woods and Harden. Yeah. They could be dangerous. They could be.
And you can do it the other way around too, though, Greg.
Yep, you can do it the other way around.
You can sit Harden and Woods down.
Harden and Woods, then you can do Wall and Woods.
Yes, let John Wall and Boogie play. Let them two go in like the preseason. You seen the preseason, them two was like, yeah, we're without James Harden. We're gonna ball over here in Houston.
I know he probably still mad at management, and that's probably why he want to get out. But
he might be on the best team he ever been on, right?
Yeah, this might be the best team he ever been on. That's the crazy part. This might be the best because Woods, like that's why I said with Capella, I thought Capella fits Harden because he gave him that alley-oop option. Now he got a guy he can run a pick with and give it to him at the free throw line, and he got moves. Like he can go get a bucket, not spoon fed. Like he can go get a bucket. Like they're gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, I said Houston as long as Harden stayed, and if he stays, which I don't think Houston's gonna give up on him. I think he's gonna try to play it out and see what they got. If he stays, Houston's going to be dangerous, and that just goes even more into the narrative that I've been pointing out is James Harden is a top 5 shooting guard of all time in the NBA.
Oh yeah, that's no question. He's number 5.
I don't
He's number 5. If he win, he goes to 4.
I don't get how we can't say if we know Jordan, Kobe, Wade is 1, 2, 3. To me, Iverson, Harden coming.
They the
for AI.
same people. They the same players to me.
Fucking
Yeah,
same players. 30 a night. That's what both of them
you know
cost.
what I'm
30
saying?
a night.
They
30 a
they
night.
and watch this. Here's the crazy thing, the scary thing that nobody see. He giving you 30, but he also give you 10 or 11 assists every fucking night, and it's
How,
yo.
how AI was those last 6 years of being AI. He was like, I'm like, yo, my AI was 27 and 10. Like,
The
like,
AI
like
just got that culture.
that
He
was the
just got that
craziest shit in the
culture
world. Like, yeah,
nostalgia
like
with
AI was
him. That's
averaging
why.
27 and 10. I said,
Yeah,
he was
that's
leading
why
the league in
everybody will always
assists.
probably pick AI over because he just got that culture of nostalgia on him. Like,
I mean, but James Harden, I mean, to be honest, James Harden and fucking Steph Curry is today's culture.
yeah, they are.
Everybody models their games behind them. They are today's culture.
Listen, I'm giving all praise to James Harden because, like you said, to go out and party hard, come in back, and then say, guess what? First game, I'm giving you 44 and 7.
44, and if he got that pass off, it would have been. I thought he should have shot the shot when
He
he
should have
had
shot a
what's the
floater.
face rocking.
He should have
He should
shot a
have
floater.
shot it.
He was passing the what's the name though, right?
Yeah, he was passing it to Wood. Yeah,
I thought he was passing to PJ Tucker. That one PJ Tucker over there under
no,
the
that was
basket.
Wood. Yeah, that was Woods in the corner.
Okay.
I'm listen, I hope Houston wins just to prove the narrative of he can come back. He'll show you how great he really is. But let's go to the main topic of the show today because we getting ready to get out of here with no football getting ready to come on. If you look at my background, we got Coach John Harbaugh, legendary coach in my opinion for the Baltimore Ravens. Third coach in the franchise's history has won a Super Bowl championship and has had winning records and winning seasons all the way through. So the topic that we wanted to point out was overrated or underappreciated. Coaches that, and not only the NFL, but in the NBA. But we're going to stick with the NFL for this one, and we'll come back on another show later on about the NBA coaches. But we got several coaches that we want to talk about and being overrated or underappreciated. And I'm going to start it off with John Harbaugh. I'm going to put it out there to Mike first because Mike brought it up early on the topic. John Harbaugh.
It was coming from my head this morning.
Is he underrated or is he underappreciated?
In my opinion, he's fucking underappreciated because everything you ask from a head coach to do, everything you ask for a head coach to do, he does it. And he does it better than an average head coach. And all you can say is, well, his management, his management of plays and all that type of shit like that is horrible. Like, but what about the motherfucker that's 11-5 every year? You know what I'm saying? 11-5 every year, winning the Super Bowl, winning the conference more times than any fucking head coach done won under the Ravens belt. Like, I got seen a little of that. Been in the AFC Championship 3 years, like what 3 out of 4 years, something like that. 3 out of 4 years, like
3 out of 5.
Just one 3 out of 5. They just want to give him they want to give a reason. They want to give a reason because they don't like him. Not that he's a bad coach. They don't like him. Even the post that Warren wrote, he said, I don't like John Harbaugh. Okay. That don't mean he's a bad fucking coach. Because you don't like him. I mean, I could tell Warren, I don't like the shit you do when you're on the basketball court. Don't mean you're a bad player. I just don't like the shit you do when you're on the basketball court.
Man should know people individually. We just talking about these coaches. Underrated or underappreciated.
I look at it as I think he a little of both because I just think besides like other coaches, I think the one thing Harbaugh is he only as good as his coordinators. Now you can say that about a lot of coaches, but the train don't stop with other coaches like it do with Harbaugh. Because I think Harbaugh lacks what the league is turned into X's and O's. Him and Tomlin probably the best motivational coaches. Like they get the best out of everybody, basically. They don't need the superstars. They kind of create those stars. But on a coaching standpoint, I just think he lacks adjustments. Like that, like us, even Steve Smith said, we got an offensive coordinator who's been calling the same plays for 8 years. Why? Because we don't have a coach who knows the X's and O's of either side of the ball. So his success is riding on his coordinators. Where like Andy Reid will always be the play caller. He just enemy, Nagy, all them guys might help him, but it's all on Andy Reid. That's why the train never stops with him. Bill Belichick, the train never he done lost 1,000 coaches. The train never stops with him. But with Harbaugh, he's only as good as his coordinators. And like now we looking at it where lately, if you really look at it, look at all the teams we play, besides the ones in our divisions like Cincinnati, maybe Cleveland. But look at the teams we played the second time around, how we don't adjust with the X's and O's.
Mhm.
Tennessee, Chargers, Kansas City, New England. That second time around, they caught on. And that's the fear because we don't adjust with X's and O's. We basically run 4 plays a game. Like, and I think that's hardball downfall where he's not the
Right.
league is offense and we score, we can score. Yeah, we can score. We do play a bunch of bad teams. But in the same time, we just don't elevate where it's like we don't even run screenplays. Like
But we
we don't even
can't
do simple
run
stuff.
because we don't
Like
have to do that. That's what I was talking about earlier. I think that sometimes with hardball, is like you said, his mindset is not that of the new age offensive minded coach.
yeah,
It's
that's
more
the new age. Like
I'm
even
going to
like I
win
don't mean to
this.
cut you off, but like an Andy Reid. Andy Reid, Andy Reid just lucky he was able to last long enough to get to this point where the NFL fits what he always been. Because for a long time, Andy Reid always got killed for, oh, you forgot you got a running back. You forgot now in this league, you don't need a running back.
Right. So I get it. Like I definitely get it, and I see both sides of it. I'm not going to call him underappreciated or overrated. I think he's just right. That's my point on Harbaugh. I think he's a solid coach, and he's gonna work with what he got. If he
Yeah, he's
had a
gonna
bunch,
work what he got.
if he had a
He
bunch of
definitely,
guys that
he
was
definitely
offensive
look what he
minded,
got.
you would see him getting a whole lot of points out of you. If he got a bunch of defensive guys, he gonna get that defensive out of you. Let's go to the
True.
next coach. You look at the background. I got Mike Tomlin up there. Mike Tomlin,
See another
overrated.
one. I think Mike Tomlin is. They both in the same. They both first ballot Hall of Famers. Like, let's not get that twisted. Like, they both first ballot Hall of Fame coaches. But at the same time, Mike Tomlin another one. Mike Tomlin probably not more of a motivational coach like Harbaugh. He more of a players coach. Like, he's the buddy of the team. Like,
He definitely
okay,
get. He definitely get. He
like
definitely get the
that's
shit.
why like Ben Roethlisberger and the Antonio Browns back then. That's why they got to do what they got to do because he was the players coach, and that works, and that can work in the league. But at the same time, when the last time have they won?
He went
Go
in
ahead.
the what?
What's your thoughts? Overrated or underappreciated?
Underappreciated. I think he's a great coach.
Okay,
I really
I'm
think
I'm gonna go with underappreciated as well.
I
I'm
think
just
he's
looking.
a great coach.
That team to me is not that good. I know their records say they're 11-3. I don't
But
think
the
Pittsburgh is
defense
that
is though.
good. And that's my point. He's taking what he got. He
But
know that their quarterback is pretty much shot. So you got to use what you got to just get there, be well enough. So you got to coach up that defense. So when he got Fitzpatrick and Hayden and Watt before the injuries, even with that big injury with Bush at the beginning of the year, when he lost Bush to the game against us, the first game, they put what's his name, Colazo, whoever it is in the middle, the white guy. They got him in the middle, and it looked like they didn't even miss a beat. That's just great coaching, great motivating by Mike Tomlin. I think he gets the best out of you as a coach. So I think he is underappreciated. I'm gonna go put another coach up here now. This one's gonna be kind of funny
I
because
know
I
who you
know
putting up there. I know who you putting up there.
I don't think you know what I'm putting up there. I'm
I
gonna
know
put
who you
this guy.
putting up there. I know
I'm
who
gonna
you
put
putting
this
up there.
guy. Before I go to that one, I'm gonna put this guy up there.
All right.
Bruce Arians. Now, a lot of people, Bruce Arians got his team into the playoffs this year.
Overrated.
Is he overrated or is he underappreciated? Go ahead, Ray. What you got?
He overrated with an ego. Like
Okay.
I think I don't like. He's always been a good. Everybody want to say his offense or whatever, but I just think like he just lucky Brady decided to choose that damn team. Like, but and because you can tell, like when he tries to take over the games, and that's when they just completely shut down and struggle. And then when he let Brady run wild, they score 57,000 points.
Right.
But then when he wants to show that, oh no, this is my team, they score 3 points. Like I just think he overrated with the ego. Like
Okay.
just let your Hall of Fame quarterback do what he do. It was the same thing with McCarthy in Green Bay. He just tried to control A Rod. Just let A Rod do what he want to do. Like you got that
Okay.
type of talent, let them do what they gotta do.
Mike, yours.
I don't like him. I think he overrated too. But
Okay.
he has a very talented roster to be overrated. He got a very fucking talented roster on both sides to be overrated. So yeah, he overrated me.
Me personally, I personally think that he's very overrated, and like Ray said, he has an ego, big
Yeah,
time ego. I don't understand having an ego. I don't understand having an ego with never winning anything.
and they
Yeah,
walked him.
like
You've never won anything, but yet
Well,
you have a
where
full
you
fledged
at?
ego. Crazy.
Where you at?
where I'm at.
No, I know where you at, Ray. Where you at, Greg?
I'm at my mother house.
All right. Did you see the touchdown?
No, I'm about to look at it. But let's go to this next. Sean Payton, head coach in New Orleans with the Saints. Is the
That's
overrated
a
or
tricky one.
underappreciated?
That's a tricky one. I'm gonna say
Let me go first, Ray.
uh
He both.
yeah.
He both.
He's overly underappreciated.
He both.
See,
He
see,
both.
I want to say reason I want to say both is because I just think he's such a quarterback guru.
Mhm.
Like yo, you got Drew. You just lucky you got Drew Brees. Like, and he's just trying to prove a point with Hill. Like, he like Josh McDaniels with Tim Tebow. Like, yo, they ain't it. Why not play? He lucky Drew Brees came back, and they probably still won't win. Like,
They figured out hell, huh?
yeah, like
Figured his ass out.
you had Jameis sitting right there. Like, play
I'm
why
gonna
you
go ahead
didn't play Jameis. He just want to prove that
that he can do
uh,
it with body. Yeah.
yeah, he can do it with anybody. Like, no,
I think with Sean Payton, I kind of put Sean Payton in the John Harbaugh category, and the reason why is because I looked at some posts from earlier today, and the quote was, "What have you done for me lately?" And I watched Sean Payton. What have you done for me lately? I watched your team collapse in the playoffs or at the end of the season. I watched your team last year lose to a team that you definitely should have beat. You just blew them out on Friday on Christmas. You lost that game because of your quarterback play, and I think coaching. The NFC Championship game, you lost that because of yes, a bad call against the Rams, but it was also coaching because you got the best threat in Kamara, and you've lost a lot of games like that. I've watched him lose games when he beast mode 7-9 team. You go up there and you lose those kind of games. You lose games in the cold in the playoffs all the time. You lose crazy games like you lost to Minnesota on the Stephon Diggs play. That's coaching or is that players? You get what I'm saying? Like, what is it? You can't always say, "Oh, it's what have you done for me lately?" Because he's not a bad coach, but at the same time, with this coach, he's got that same Bruce Arians. I'm so confident in everything that I do. I think I can make anything work. So that's why I kind of got him in that you got to pick your poison mode because he's good, but is he really that good? Let me go to another coach. Now this one is on the hot seat for a lot of people. I got two more coaches, and then we're gonna be out of here. Doug Peterson.
Mm.
Is he overrated or is he underappreciated? I'm gonna start this one. I think the boy is overrated. I think he's overrated. I think he's always been overrated. I think that the Eagles just had a great run that one year, and now you're starting to see he's coming back down to earth, and he's got an issue right now with those quarterbacks up in Philly. Who want to go next?
I look at it like because I gotta watch a lot of Philly games. I just never seen a coach who can look so good calling plays and then just come up with the dumbest play ever. Like I never get like he can call 8 straight perfect plays to get a touchdown and then go for the dumbest 2-point conversion ever in the history of football. Like I just don't get it with him either. Like ah, and then he got a Super Bowl and it's like I guess you gotta look at him as one of the top coaches, but he ain't that.
Mike, what's your thoughts?
I don't like him either. I just leave it as that.
And it's crazy, and it's crazy because like when you look at it, like it's not that many coaches that won Super Bowls because of Belichick, probably, but and then he happens to be one of the ones that has one, and it's just real crazy.
But like even going back to that, winning that Super Bowl, that was like the most craziest Super Bowl victory ever. Because Tom Brady threw for over 500 plus.
500 yards.
You know what I'm saying? He almost threw for 600 yards in a Super Bowl game. So that tells me right there that it was whoever had the ball last, right? that was it for me. It was like whoever got the ball last, that's the team going to win it. And it just so happened that Philly got the ball last because they scored last. And it's just so crazy to me, man. Like I don't think Doug Peterson is that good of a coach. I think Frank Wright was more of a better coach than him.
That's what I say. And then he's just really starting. So it's like when Belichick and the Harbaugh and all them guys are gone, it's gonna be like he the only guy left with a Super Bowl. Like Doug Peterson gonna be ahead of the pack.
Yeah, so last one, and then we're gonna get up out of here. This guy, he's on that list of great coaches all time. Andy Reid, the big man in red over in KC. Is he overrated or is he underappreciated?
Underappreciated. I got Andy underappreciated. Like I said earlier, I was like, it was just the league finally caught up. Well, the league finally turned into what he always been. This is his type of shit right here. Like he can just sling the ball around 50 times. He got the quarterback that can do it. Got the complete weapons that can do it. And he can just show off his stuff. Like and he ain't afraid to do it. And I just think people for a long time, like that Philly run was crazy. Like too bad he never won, but that Philly run was crazy. Like there's not too many teams that can do that type of run.
What's your thoughts on it, Mike?
Definitely underrated.
Is it underrated or overappreciated? Or underappreciated?
He's underrated. He's underrated. He definitely been doing it for so long, and it took everybody for so long to catch up with him too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with underappreciated only because they didn't respect him in Philly.
Yeah,
what he did, like to watch him. I think his greatest coaching job that he did in Philly was the year that they was the 6th seed and they went to the NFC Championship game. The year that they played Arizona in the NFC Championship game when Arizona went to the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh. That year they were so beat up and they bounced all the way back. And watching them go to another NFC title game with basically a bunch of injured players, I said, yo, you got to give Andy Reid some love, man, because they went through, look at the running backs that they went through while he was up there. They went through Buckhalter, Westbrook. Dude, they went through so many running backs, and he just kept flowing with Donovan McNabb. They had no wide receivers, Freddie Mitchell. And then he finally got some toys with Deshaun Jackson and Macklin and all them guys for them to do what? Say, oh, no, we're going to shut it. We're going to go and get you out of here. Get him out of there. Go to Kansas City. Went through 3 quarterbacks in Kansas City. Had Alex Smith. Then finally got the Mahomes. And now you see what's happening. You finally found the quarterback to go fit what you want to do. You got all of these toys to fit what you want to do. And you're just seeing the fruits of the labor. I think perfect. I think Andy Reid is definitely underrated, and I'm glad he finally got the championship because his was well past due. His is well past due. I'm glad he finally grabbed one because he deserved it. But look, fellas, this has been a good one. Quick little show. We're gonna get back into it. I know tonight we're gonna try to do a wrestling one to go ahead and give another tribute to my guy Brody Lee. Brody Lee, we gotta go do something big with that. Mike, I appreciate you coming back on there, Ray, as usual. Y'all have a good one.
What time we doing the wrestling one?
We're gonna try to do it around 7 o'clock.
All right, cool.
All right.
all right.